Today we'll take a look at adding basic interactivity to our CommandBox custom commands. We'll cover the functions ask, waitforkey, and confirm. These handy methods streamline the process of asking a user for information and then using their response within your command. We'll be using our example date help command that we used in previous videos. So it's a basic custom command project. There are 3 commands in it right now. And in the last video, we set up a birthday command which used a user setting. And at this point, it simply returns the birthday. Now, in this case, it's not particularly helpful because the birthday hasn't been set and it's just an empty string. So how would we prompt the user to enter that birthday? Well, without interactivity, we could do something like printing an error message. So we could say, if they haven't set the birthday, we'll print an error message. So we'll write print bold red, something unfriendly. You need to enter your birthday. You need to configure your birthday. Super unfriendly, not particularly helpful, but fine for the example. Otherwise, we'll just return the birthday like we have here if they've set it. And we'll reload the shell to take a look at that. So now we can run date help birthday. And since we haven't configured it, we get that error message that we need to configure the birthday. Now that would require the user to run the config command and then rerun this command. So it's not a particularly user-friendly approach to this. What would be better is to ask the user for their birthday if they hadn't configured it. Unfortunately, we are able to do that. CommandBox has an ask command. And for all the details on it, I'd hop over to the documentation, and you can read them here under Developing for CommandBox Interactivity. The ask command enables you to prompt a user for input and then take their input and assign it to a variable. So in this case, we could say ask, and we'll say you haven't configured your birthday. When is it? And then we'll leave a little space here at the end. And we'll say birthday, because birthday hasn't been set. Birthday equals ask. We get rid of this. And actually, we don't need this anymore because they're setting it. We'll move this out. Okay. So there's no length to the birthday. Ask. You haven't configured your birthday. When is it? And then they could enter it here. Now, what we really want to do is we actually want to assign that for them. So if we were trying to be really helpful here, we could run the configure command for them with that birthday variable that they enter. So we could run the command for them, config set modules, set the module and run it. And in this case, they wouldn't even need to run the command. So let's reload the shell and take a look at how this differs from the previous approach. All right, so again, we're going to run date help birthday. So here, instead of having that nasty error message and forcing the user to re-enter the command, reconfigure the module, we have a simple interactive prompt where a user can type their birthday, real or just completely fabricated, not a real birthday, and we set it for them. And now if we run date help birthday, the prompt won't be there anymore because we've configured the module for them. So that ask command really streamlined the user interaction in this custom command. The next interactivity function discussed in the CommandBox documentation is waitforkey. Now, within our example date help project, we don't really have a need to use waitforkey. What it does is it captures any keystroke that the user enters. Just for the sake of example, though, we'll grab it and demonstrate it here. In the birthday command, we'll drop in the example and just show you how this works. We'll print this out to console to make sure that it gets there. So whatever key press here, wait for key, tells the user to enter any key, but you could type any text in here. And then it sets the variable key press equal to the value of the key that's entered. And then we output that key press variable, make it bold and red. So we will reload the terminal to pick up that change. So now I can run date help birthday, and it's going to prompt me to enter a key. I'll press G, and you'll see that's captured. And if I run it again, I can press like the up arrow key, and you'll see that there's special codes for keys like that to tell you what was captured. Run it again and press a number, and 2 is captured. So that's how wait for key works. It stops the processing of the command, waits for the user to enter any key, and then captures that key as a variable. Now you might be wondering, okay, that seems like a pretty useless function, but it's not. The best way to show its value would be to see how it's actually practically used. So for that, we'll hop over to the CommandBox code, and we'll just search for it in the CommandBox codebase. And you'll see that there is a pause command that's built into CommandBox and that you can utilize. There is the more command. So when you enter something and the auto suggest returns a lot of characters, the more command has a wait for key, and it waits for the space key, and then it advances the list one line. So it's a really helpful use of wait for key. And then got a number of other uses of it here. The one I was trying to find was it's used in the built-in snake game, which is in the CommandBox CLI to move the snake around. So wait for key has a number of uses. You can dig into them if you search for wait for key in the CommandBox codebase, and you may or may not have a use for it yourself within your own command. I'm going to roll the birthday command back to where it was, and then we can take a look at the final basic interactivity command, and that would be confirm. So confirm simply prompts a user for a yes or no. So it pauses processing and prompts for that, and then it accepts why, yes, no, true, false. So I think we could rework our birthday command here to make use of some basic confirmation. So maybe we give them an option to reset their birthday with it. Boolean reset equals false. But if they want to reset it, we will actually ask them. Now this might not be the most user-friendly example, but it'll show you at least how it works. If reset, then let's take a look at how we can add confirm. So we'll say, are you sure? Are you sure you want to reset your birthday? Not a real thing. And we'll say if, because it's going to return a Boolean, so we don't need to set the variable there. Else, are you sure you want to reset your birthday? And if they do, we can run a command in here to clear that setting. So we could run that clear command if they confirm it. And if they don't, we'll just print out something. All right, so here you'll see that the confirm command gets translated as a Boolean, and we're basing it on this reset parameter the user could pass in to this module to reset the birthday that they've entered. So again, we'll reload the shell. And if we run date help birthday and we pass in a -- reset, we get this prompt here, which is coming from the confirm command. So if I enter n, it just continues as normal. And if I enter yes, or if I enter true or something along those lines, it would evaluate as true and handle the Boolean that way. So it's an easy way to integrate yes, no. You don't need to account for the why, yes, the various forms of entering true and false. The function handles it for you, and you can integrate that into your command. One final note here. Remember that you're working with a CLI when you're building this command. So while your interactivity is super cool, you probably want to give your users the ability to bypass it in the event that they want to run the command in a headless way, maybe as part of a continuous integration flow or something else. That is, give them some means of bypassing the interactivity that you've added. This might be a force option or some other approach that you come up with, but interactivity can be a problem if someone's trying to run the command automatically without having a user attend it. So just keep that in mind.